President Trump's battle for economic sovereignty just hit a wall, and his response was immediate. Before we get into the full story, make sure to like, comment, and share Explain America. You help us break through the noise with common sense journalism, and we're just getting started. So here's what happened. In a stunning decision, unelected judges just struck down Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. The very tariffs that were designed to protect American workers, punish foreign trade cheaters, and rebalance decades of globalist abuse. In their reasoning, that the International Emergency and Economic Powers Act doesn't give the president authority to impose tariffs on countries that rip us off. That's right, they see the president can't defend America's industrial base in the name of a national emergency. You can't make this stuff up. The U.S. Court of International Trade is a panel of 3 unelected judges in New York. They just vacated Trump's tariffs and issued a permanent injunction blocking their enforcement. They ruled that Trump's worldwide, retaliatory, and trafficking tariff orders all exceed his powers under the 1977 IEEPA law. Last time I checked, the U.S. Constitution in 1789 precedes and overrides that, but that's just me. Translation, China, the EU, and every other country taking advantage of U.S. trade loopholes just got a free pass. This is the same court that sided with multinational corporations and foreign interests for years. Now they're overruling a duly elected president's effort to protect American industry. They're doing it with zero regard for the voters who put the president in office. But President Trump isn't backing down. Within hours, his legal team filed an appeal to overturn the ruling and restore the Liberation Day tariffs. The administration is now working with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to negotiate stronger trade deals from a position of strength, not surrender. Let's remember, these tariffs weren't about punishing other countries. They were about putting America first, using a 10% baseline tariff to bring manufacturing home and make it costly for our enemies to exploit us. And it was working. Countries like China were hit with tariffs as high as 145%, and then they sued, and the globalist legal system obviously backed the communist Chinese. And now factory towns across the United States are vulnerable once again because activist judges in black robes think that they know better than the president who is elected to run the foreign policy of this country. This is why Congress must step in. If Republicans in Congress don't act to rein in this judicial overreach, then what good is having any election? The president must be able to use emergency powers to defend the country's economy. You remember COVID-19 and the pandemic response when every state executive across the country abused their powers to violate human rights, restrict their movement, and in some cases the federal government required them to get immunization. Well, why can't the President of the United States use emergency powers to stop relying on an enemy of the United States for its industrial goods? Remember, China, they exploited the COVID-19 pandemic to sell PPEs around the globe. We cannot have things like this happen again to the United States. It is a national security issue. And national security issues under the United States Constitution are decided by the President of the United States, not by unelected judges in New York. This absurdity has to end. This is the latest front in the war against Trump's America First agenda. So stand up, stay loud, and make it known if you want to end the judicial coup and restore these tariffs, then we need to back the President of the United States and his authority under the Constitution. That's what this story is really all about. This has been Explain America. Like, comment, and share. We need to push back against judicial tyranny, and people need important information before there's political mobilization. Thank you.